Hi, Bhumika. Good afternoon.
Hello, hi. Can you
Hi.
hear me?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm good, good. Am I audible to you perfectly?
Yes, yes. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, perfect.
Yeah.
I was just wondering where were you?
Yeah.
So no worries. So first of all, a hearty congratulations from our side on being selected as one of the winners and also one of the youngest winners of our
Thank
fixed
you so
writing
much.
contest. A hearty
Yeah.
congratulations. So before I proceed ahead, I just wanted you to introduce yourself to our audience, like what do you do in your daily life? Who are you behind the book?
Yep. So I'm Bhumika. I'm a 19-year-old writer and poet from Bangalore. Well, outside of writing, I'm an engineering student. So a lot of my day revolves around like logic, structure, and things that are either right or wrong. But then that's where writing comes in, and it opens up this more instinctive side of my life, this softer side that I like to stay in touch with. Yeah, outside of writing, I really like movies. I like listening to a lot of music. I cook a lot. Yeah, so all in all, I try to keep myself very busy. Yeah.
Okay, and like was engineering always on the cards or was it writing and then you got into engineering?
No, it's always been science for me. Like I really love science. So I was planning to become a doctor, but then like I changed my mind. I'm very indecisive. So then it led to engineering. But then I like being interdisciplinary. So I like the logic and structure that science brings in and the fluidity that, creativity and writing brings me. So I like being at that middle ground.
Okay, so how and when did you fall in love with writing and how long have you been writing?
Okay, I've been writing since I was 13 years old. So, my mom actually got me into writing. She's like an English lecturer. She's a professor, and I've always wanted to follow her, and follow her footsteps, right? So that's when I started writing, and it was during the COVID lockdown. I didn't have anything to do. That's when I wrote my first story, and that's when my love for writing started. But then I had to take a big pause because of academics and like competitive exams. But then recently I got back into it, and it's been amazing. Yeah.
That's a wonderful influence to have, isn't that?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
Mother's Day today.
Amazing.
Have you wished your mother?
Yeah, it is. Yes. Yes. First thing in the morning. Yeah.
So any message for her?
Yeah. I mean, she's been this constant, pillar of support in my life. Like, my dad and, my brother, they don't really understand the arts as much as her, right? So she's always, told me to never give up this side of my life. And she's been an inspiration. Like, I want to be like her. Yeah.
It's really glad to hear. So
Yeah.
what are your future plans like? How do you plan to continue writing?
Yeah, well, writing, yeah, it's just something that I do simultaneously along with my other day, like every other day chores and stuff like that. So I want to get published in, journals like the Hemlock journal, and I want to participate in more like literary contests. But beyond that, I'm also working on something of my own with two of my friends. We're trying to build this seasonal, like, design sort of indie magazine, so we're really excited for that. Yeah.
Okay, I also read that in your bio that you had received a fellowship from the Utkarsh Poetry at the Bangalore
Yeah.
Poetry Festival. So can you
Yeah.
walk us through that? Like, what was that moment like? How did you reach there?
Yeah, well, that was like my first stint back into writing. So it was like after this long gap, right? So my mother was actually, again, my mom, she was scrolling on Facebook and she saw this post because I wasn't really on any social media at that point. And she was like, this seems like such a perfect fit for you. You should apply. And I don't really listen to her all the time. But then this time I was like, yes, maybe I should apply. And I did. And I didn't really have any, I didn't really believe that I had that in me to become the winning fellow. But then I got this call a few months later, and they told me that I was the winning fellow, and then they wanted to felicitate me on the Bangalore Poetry Festival stage. So it was such a surreal moment for me that it was really reassuring for me to know that I still had that spark in me. And again, thanks to my mom. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And do you also like recite your poems, recite your work anywhere? Do you get
Well,
a
I haven't really done that yet, but then the first time I did it was at the Utkarsh Poetry Festival, and I really look forward to doing that even more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I assumed that. That's why I asked you. So
Yeah.
let's move on. I just want to know, like, how did you find the Hemlock Journal?
Yeah. So it started with me, like I mostly write poetry, and I'm not really like a very big fiction person. But then my whole creative journey started with me writing stories, and I wanted to go back to those days that and my roots. So I wanted to start writing again, stories in particular. So I started writing a story, and it wasn't really going anywhere. Like it just stayed a unfinished draft in my laptop. And then a couple of months later, like always, I was scrolling on Instagram, and I saw a post by the Hemlock Journal, and it looked very like inviting, and I loved the prompt. And I said, hey, there's this story sitting in my laptop, and it's not really going anywhere. I've just gotten to like 3 paragraphs of that. I don't know what direction to take it in. Maybe this prompt could do something to that. So it was like fate, and then it came together, and within 48 hours of seeing that post, I had my story, and I felt like it was good enough to send. Yeah, that's how I
Okay.
found them.
And did you ever think that you gonna win the entire thing?
No, absolutely not. Like I had no idea because I'm very new to all of this in my head, and my mom always keeps telling me that there's gonna be like distinguished writers applying to this, and you're so young. Do you think they like your style? Do you think they're gonna resonate with your voice? And I'm like, I don't know, mama, let's see. And then it actually happened. So it's very like surreal, and I'm still in shock. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Again, a big congratulations to you. And
Thank you
how
so
did
much. Yeah.
you resonate with the theme? Like, what was your first thought when you heard of that theme, Call to the Wind? So,
Yeah, so the sea has been like really personal to me. So it's been this constant element in my life, and it's where I go back to, soothe myself or cope with things. And I knew that I wanted this to be a part of my story because it's so vast, and it's so mesmerizing, and it just pulls at things so well. And well, I'm also really exploring like oral traditions and folklore and stuff like that. And I grew up with my grandmother telling me these, little stories, and I always wondered where they came from. So I thought of integrating the two and coming up, with Corals in Her Throat, which I think was a good choice. Yeah.
hey, that's very nice. So, also, when I was reading it, I felt there was a theme of magical realism. So, is there any favorite writer do you have? Maybe a Murakami?
Yeah, I love Murakami. Yes, you read my mind. I love it. I love him. Yeah, but beyond that, like I would say, I really like Arundhati Roy's writing, the way she approaches language and makes it so political at the same time. Uh, Poetry, I really like Ocean Wong. I like Mary Oliver. Yeah, and honestly, more than writers itself, I get a lot of inspiration from things outside formal literature, like be it just a conversation or be it something I look. I'm extremely observant, so I often sit back and look at things and hyper analyze them in ways. So that's where I get my inspiration from.
Yeah, people watching, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, like, can you walk us through, like, how does a day in your life look like? How do you manage everything?
Yeah, a day in my life, well, it's boring at the moment, but I mean, I wake up and I have college for like 6 to 7 hours, so it's like completely dull. But then I have my friends there, so they're kind of uplifting me all the time, and that's where I met like a lot of very interesting people, and then it's who have started this ecosystem or this creative hub sort of thing that we're coming up with. Yeah, and then I love collaborating with my friends in general. Like me and my friend recently applied for this grant, and it's like clubs as well, right? So it's an opportunity to meet a lot of different people, and I love doing that. And then I come back home, and then sometimes I try to get a little bit of reading in. I try to write, but then writer's block is a real thing, and I'm kind of currently going through writer's block, so I don't really know what to do with that. So I try to read as much as possible, and then yeah, that's about my day. Yeah.
So how long have you been on this writer's block?
It's been a couple of months for sure. Yeah. I think the last time was when I actually submitted to the Hemlock journal. I don't think I've been able to write since then. So let's hope things look up.
Or good, maybe if you can, incorporate this win as a motivation to write something. So
Yeah, yeah. Genuinely, yeah. I feel like that's a possibility.
maybe down the line. But is there anything that you've had in the back of your mind, not just during a writer's block, but since the time you're writing, like there's something that you want to write which would, moves people heart, which would change someone's perception about a certain thing. Has there ever been a thought like that?
Yeah, definitely. Like there are some things that I feel very passionately about, and I want to lean into those concepts or those things in the back of my mind even more. Like I feel very passionately about women and their rights. So I want to lean into that as well. And then recently, I think I won the Toto Awards for creative writing in English.
Wow.
So yeah, so that was like another really amazing experience, and I got to like come up with this portfolio of all the things I love. So it had poems ranging from something very superficial such as bacteria to something that's so deep, and very like it holds a lot of vigor, like women's rights and some other political things that I wrote about. So yeah, I've been writing about those things as well, but then I really want to tap into science fiction. That's something I've been really eyeing, because I want to create a universe of my own with creatures of my own, with like rules, and that's something I've been wanting to do since I was a child. So maybe I should look into that.
Okay, so let's assume 10 years down the line, where do you see yourself personally and professionally?
Yeah, so I want to be at the intersection of writing as well as, science. I feel like I don't know if there's careers there, but then I really want to discover careers there. Yeah, I want to work with people. I want to like learn more in general about the world because I'm very curious like that. Yeah, when it comes to writing, I would say I just I really want to write like a whole book, I want to write with something with all my thoughts, all my deepest emotions poured into it, and I wanted to, influence others positively as well, like young girls maybe, because I understand young girls and how they feel and where they come from, and sometimes they require a little bit of a nudge. So yeah, that's something I want to do.
Yeah, that's great. But considering that you're still young, how do like people approach you when they hear that, you're writing about women, about a lot of certain topics? So how has the perception been among your peers, your colleagues, your friends, family?
Yeah, well, I don't really interact with a lot of people who also write, because I don't really come across them very often in the course that I'm doing. But through the fellowship, I met a very talented cohort, and we've all grown very fond of each other. And I love reading what they write, because I'm very used to this, singular perspective that I have when it comes to writing, or just authors that are published. I want to see what people of my age are also writing. So that's really helped me a lot. And yeah, when it comes to my mom, yeah, she's like my number one cheerleader, and she's so proud of me. And yeah, I think it is a little hard navigating as a young author, because people don't really take you that seriously. And but there are some challenges that you have to overcome, and I think it's all worth it. Yeah.
But what kind of challenges? Are there any challenges that you're facing right now?
No, I don't particularly face any challenges as such, but I just genuinely don't think people take me that seriously. Uh, when I write, they probably think it's, especially my brother. Sometimes he's like, "Why are you so deep? You're so young. Like, why are you writing about this? Write about something light. Write about something, fun." But then, people don't really understand that you can also be mature and write about deeper topics, right? Yeah.
I think that's a brotherly instinct, to trouble your sister because even I have a sister.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I criticize her a lot, but
yeah.
no. So, like, how do you say, like, if you get a chance to, like, publish more stories, how would you do that? Like, would it be within an international journal, just like the Hemlock Journal, or do you want to collaborate with some, bigger houses, production houses, publishing houses? So, is there any dream
Yeah,
collaboration you have in mind?
well, no dream collaboration at the moment, but I think anyone who'll take my writing at this point, because uh, I don't really have a lot of confidence, but then every win along the way, encourages me to do better. Yeah, starting with the Hemlock Journals, wonderful opportunity, amazing platform, never expected to be published like that. And within days, this eco anthology was published, and then within a week it was home, so it was so tangible to hold it, and I was like, oh my god, I've been published in a journal, an international journal nonetheless. So yeah, it's been very like cathartic, the whole journey in general, and it's been a roller coaster of emotions. No dream collaborations, just anyone who will publish me, I will publish for them. Yeah.
So thanks a lot for the feedback. But okay, maybe not a dream collaboration with any publishing house, but with any favorite author of yours or any author from ages ago who's dead right now.
Yeah. Mm, I'm not really sure of an author, but my mom is also a writer. So I want to really do like a collection with her, because I think we complement each other's voices very well. And I don't think there's been a lot of anthologies out there that are like a mother and daughter, collaboration. So I feel like that could really do very well. So, but then I'm in a writer's blog and she's in a writer's blog. So let's see where it goes.
Okay, but what would that collection be about? Would that be of short poems or short stories?
Yeah, she writes poetry mostly, and I also do a lot of poetry. So maybe like a little poetry chapbook, about the intricacies of daily life, about things, you know, um, about, I don't know, anything emotional, emotionally textured, about collective experiences that we've had, maybe. So, yeah.
Okay, okay, that's great to know. And I just wanted to know, like, how many pieces have you worked on till date?
Uh, So I haven't really, written and published in a journal, but then most of it has been through contests. So the first one was the Utkarsh Fellowship, right, by the Bangalore Poetry Festival, and it's currently in works right now, and the anthology is gonna come out very soon. And then I won the Toto Awards this year. So they are planning to release it online as well. And then a couple more contests here and there. There was one science fiction writing contests by the India Science Festival as well. So that has also been published online. And then the Hemlock Journal. Yeah.
Okay, so I sense a big, busy year for you ahead.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, that's great to know. So I just have like two or three more questions. Okay. So I just wanted to know, was there ever a eureka moment that you had in your life that you were like, oh yes, I can do this?
Yeah. And so like I told you, I haven't really written for like the past 3 or 4 years because of academic pressure. But when I did get started, it was actually through the Utkarsh Poetry Fellowship. Like I hadn't written before that. That was the first piece of poetry that I wrote, and it got accepted, and I was the winning fellow. And on that stage, while I was standing there reciting my poetry with all of these faces looking at me, these exceptionally talented people looking at me, I felt like I had to continue because, everyone kept telling me that, don't ever give up on this. Just because you're, a science student, don't stop. There's something in you. You have to keep going. So that really encouraged me. And throughout the fellowship, um, I've had like a couple of mentors. Nina Verma ma'am, for example, she's been so incredibly understanding and appreciative of my work, so reassuring. And the cohort, they're just so brilliant. And I think through that journey, I've become more of a writer who's in touch with what they truly want to do. And yeah, that's kind of pushed me to write, and partially the reason why I apply to all of these contests now, because I've got that confidence in me now. So that's would definitely be my eureka moment.
Okay, and any more shout outs to professors, friends?
Um, Shout outs. Yeah, my two closest friends, Bhavya and Bhumika. She's also Bhumika. That's how I met her.
Okay.
So yeah, and we're all like really close, and we all are somehow involved with the arts in particular ways, and we're building this thing together. So yeah.
Okay, that's great. So you mentioned like there's a magazine which you guys are working on. So is it with them and what is it going to be about? Maybe a little light you can share on it.
Yeah, so it's still in the very early stages of development, but it's called Busy Sadak, the bustling streets,
Okay.
right? So we want to capture the energy of the streets of India. We're starting with Bangalore. So we want to spotlight up and coming authors and artists and photographers and anyone who's wanting to be seen and whose work they want to be seen. Um, and beyond that, we want to have these podcasts and these little features on our page, and we want it to be a legitimate magazine. We want to host competitions as well. So yeah, I think we still have a lot to map out, but then it's in the early stages. So this is where our thought process is for now.
Okay. But this also brings me to this concern that AI is taking everything over. So do you feel the same?
Yeah, AI is definitely insane when it comes to this, because I have to like integrate AI into my work because of engineering, but at the same time, I understand how much of a problem it can be when it comes to writing. And a lot of the times, uh, especially for writing, it's considered an evil of sorts, right? AI, it's taking over, it's automating everything. So I don't know what to feel about it. I genuinely understand the concern, but I'm at the crossroads when it comes to this. So but I think people who like use their originality and stick to their voices will always be seen, because there's always, I don't think AI can ever truly replace your original voice. It's just trained on millions of you know um, pieces of work, so it's never going to have the originality that you and your voice will bring.
It's a really lovely thing to say. And any message for your fellow writers who are of your age or who are younger than you?
Yeah, just keep going, right? There's going to be a lot of rejections along the way, but trust in yourself, trust in your voice. You can do it. Writing is very subjective. What someone may not like, another person will, right? So never stop, because not a lot of people can genuinely write well. So keep going. That's all I would say. Be optimistic.
Okay, thanks a lot for that. And any
Thank
favorite
you.
science fiction work of yours? Because I heard you saying that you want to be a science fiction writer. So any work that has really captured your heart?
Yeah, I mean, grew up reading Harry Potter and J.R.R. Tolkien as well, right? Lord of the Rings, big fan of Lord of the Rings. The Dune, the whole series. So I want to create like my own. world, my own universe like that. So yeah.
Something similar to the Harry Potter world.
Not exactly similar, but something of that sorts, I would say. Like you know, my own unique characters, my own unique world. Yeah.
Okay, I'm pretty sure, we all will be waiting for that. And
Oh yeah.
I, want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time out, and agreeing for this video interview. Thanks a lot from
Thank
my
you so
side.
much.
And I wish you all the best in all your future endeavors. And I hope to see you, continue your association with the Hemlock Journal. Thanks a lot for it.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a great interview. Thank you so much for this
Thank you again.
opportunity. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.